channel. I'm your host, Osa. Before we get started on the video, make sure you like and comment on the video. It helps out with the algorithm for me so that we can get the video shown to more people, all right? Not only that, we're also pretty close to 100 subscribers. So once we reach 100, we're going to do something special for you guys, for helping us get the channel all the way from 100 ever since. Well, let's get to 100 first, then we'll explain what's going to happen when we get to 100 subscribers, all right? So for today's video, I'm going to react to Adina Rivers video. I think to another video that Adina Rivers dropped. There's a video I did before with her. If you want to check that out, there's a link. I'll leave a card up in the description box. So this kind of compounding on top of that other video that I reacted to way back like months ago. So in this case, the boyfriend talks this time around, right? So without further ado, let's get right into it.
What's up, guys? Today we're gonna be filming the most wanted video of all times, which is a Q&A with the super famous
Oliver
Rivers. This is something that you guys have requested in a very long time. Here he is. I asked him if he wants to answer your questions. He said yes, and that's what we're gonna do today in this video, and it's gonna be quite a lot of really tricky, sensitive, difficult questions, I would say.
Let's do it.
You see for yourself. And if you like our content, please make sure to click the like button or the dislike button, you can choose, and the subscribe button, and also the bell button, because that's always gonna put my videos on top of your feed, and you're always gonna be notified when I have new videos dropping every week.
Hold up.
Can we start the video?
Brian Harley 11, how do you feel about sharing Adina sexually with other men and women? Oh shit.
I would say it's getting easier and easier because, as said, we're standing on these different extremes. Yeah. As I mentioned in my video that I haven't posted, so I might still post it. It's also a journey for me. Yeah. It's not that in all these years I never had desires, I never had fantasies. Yeah. So I'm trying to focus less on what she does. Yeah. Because ultimately, if she's happy, it's great. Why should I limit her? Yeah. My ambition is to not limit my partner. Yeah. So I try to focus on more what it is that I want, what it is that I desire. Yeah. And by focusing on that, maybe the whole other story might resolve itself. Yeah?
All right. Let me just stop it here. Let me just say I was completely wrong about this guy. In the last video, I was just like, you know what? Maybe he, doesn't want to because of X amount of reasons. Maybe he has reasons for not doing certain things, or to marrying her, or maybe he has reasons for staying. Maybe he just wants to, ride it out with her, yada yada yada, stuff like that. But after seeing this video, or after the first question, really, I'm completely wrong. I was completely utterly wrong. It looks more like he's just kind of following her lead at this point. And I did mention that they've been together for like 17 years. So 17 years is a long time to really just call everything quits. That I understand, but she completely disrespected him by cheating. They're not really sure if that's really her kid. We were just making the assumption because she I got pregnant because it's his, but also around that time she was also with other men. So we don't really, she don't know whose kid is that, whose kid's coming out at the end of the day. And then for him to kind of be like, I'm getting used to having other people do it because I'm doing it, then why still be sharing the same space like that? You know what I mean? So it's a big thing that's going to be iterating throughout this video is why people don't value relationships as much as they used to back then, right? Right now, relationships is all very flimsy. People are only using relationships as this being with the word relationship, right? or like a romantic relationship, right? And people only using that word just to, you know, as for the sake of just using it, right? Instead of not necessarily taking it very seriously and actually upholding that. So you can see now that people are trying to like, hey, you know, he's being reactive now. Like, she cheated on him, and now he's like, you know what? Let me try to create room for her to do what she wants, so that I'm not quote unquote insecure about what she does, right? So that again, that's probably going to be something that's going to be kind of continually spoken about throughout this video here, about just create having people using the terms relationships and not really actually taking it really seriously like that. All right.
So smart.
So that's how I see things. Yeah. So it's, yeah, there's times where I'm actually happy that that is the case, because it means there's less pressure on me. Like, I don't always have to provide.
He's not happy. He's not happy about this. This is just a reaction to what she's done, right? So instead of, because he feels that if he might not, personally for me, I don't know, I might be wrong about this, because even though he kind of says it in this video where he says that he's also seeing other women on the side himself. Like, I don't believe that, because if you are, then you wouldn't necessarily be sitting down here doing a whole explanation video, embarrassing yourself the way he is right now, because this is embarrassing. This is calmly embarrassing. But I personally don't think he is. All right, I could be wrong, whatever, but I don't think he is. But at the same time, you're not. He's definitely not happy about this. 17 years, and now now she's changed the rules, and now you're just saying, all right, cool, you know, hey, let's do what we want to do, and no, you're not happy about that.
And I don't always have to be there.
You don't always have to provide big erections.
So I think when I reach my next level, it's going to be totally fine for me. Yeah, and I'm going to be able to enjoy the freedom that it brings to me.
So next question coming from Cricket is Love20, and he asked, does Oliver have had sex with another woman other than you?
Yeah, of course. So I think for 12 years it didn't happen. Also because I was so stuck in my conditioning, that it was the wrong thing and not the good thing to do. And over the last couple of years, I absolutely allowed myself to have that experience with different women. So the answer is yes. Yeah, it's likely to happen again.
Yeah, he's buggy. That's not. But besides all that, I want to address what you said about conditioning, right? So the whole thing with the whole, it's been popular now where people are talking about monogamy over polygamy, and why, quote unquote monogamy has kind of conditioned us is being represented as a bad thing, which is not the case at all, because, let me not say it's not the case per se, but it's going to come down to fit at the end of the day, right? So in terms of fit, what it is that you think is good for you, right? So do you feel that, monogamy is something I want, I just want one partner, I'm good on that, this is what the pros of that, this is what the cons of it, and I feel like I fit into that category, I'm comfortable with that, and that's totally fine, A lot of people are now kind of, shitting on monogamy, like, monogamy is curating, what's that word again, hypergamy, which is women jumping from one man to another, and as they keep going, they keep raising in terms of status, money, wealth, all that stuff. That's the definition, It's raising hypergamy to levels of high extreme levels. Guys aren't necessarily getting girlfriend or getting laid by the women, yada yada yada, 80%. And to that, I say, well, if you as a guy, well, first of all, you got to raise your own stats. Like, you got to be the best version of yourself. Always try to strive to be the best version of yourself. That's one thing, but do it for you, not for, the genuine nature of hypergamy, yada, yada, yada. But if you as a guy feel that, monogamy is something that you want compared to polygamy, so a lot of people is using the polygamy as a solution to all this. Like, hey, once you, work on yourself, raise your status, and get multiple women so that, because women's going to start throwing yourself at you once you get to a certain point. Like, that's cool and all, but if you as a guy, you feel that, having one solid partner is something that you as your own person, like this is a discussion that you're gonna have to have with yourself. If that's something that you feel like that's internalized into yourself, that don't do polygamy. Like, people talk about the nice part of polygamy, but they don't really talk about the other side of it, the dark side of polygamy as well. There's a dark side, and I might do another video on that with, monogamy versus polygamy, and just kind of like, put both sides on the same spectrum, and like, really tell you what, the pros and cons of both. But all you always hear about is the nice side of polygamy, like, oh, you got all these women, you marry all these wives, it's all good, they're all submissive to you, they all listen to you, it's always like a different chick almost every day if you really want it like that. But there's a dark side to that, and people don't say it, and people don't necessarily talk about it. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to fit. If you feel that one woman or one partner is good for you, then go for that. If you feel like you can't be held down by one partner, then that's totally fine as well. But you have to be real with yourself and really have that type of discussion, and look at yourself and really talk to and really think about that before you jump into one or the other, per se, right? For him, per se, he's getting forced into some like open relationship that he never really wanted. Like you said, 12 years, he blamed it on conditioning, but that wasn't conditioning. You were forced into it by your girlfriend, and then you decided, like, hey, because you've been there for a long time, and that shows weakness. Just to wrap it up, summarize it a little bit, that does show weakness, that you yourself cannot have and lack of dignity too, that you yourself cannot walk from a situation that you didn't initially have planned for, right? So then I think I had one of my videos where I titled can the terms of the relationship change over time? And she made a change without consulting you. She made a change without thinking of you in mind. She just did it on her own, and now the relationship has changed because of it, right? I don't know about all that.
Don't say that, please don't say it. I don't have to think about it. Next question. Hello Nee asks, have you ever felt like breaking up for good would have been the right choice?
Of course! 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 Of course!
Yes.
What? Yeah, I never thought that.
So yeah, of course there were moments where I thought, I'm done with this. Yeah,
Okay.
I left the house, went somewhere else, moved some places for a while, and I'm sure those moments will come again. Yeah, it's as I said, it's like the stock market. It goes up and down. You will have amazing moments, and you will have not so amazing moments. I think the goal is more to reduce the impact the lows have on your life, and to see what is the lesson from the low.
That's horrible. That's horrible. That's so horrible. Like if you don't like the situation, like he obviously does not like the situation. It said it has both highs and lows. Like it's supposed to be like this is supposed to be a normal thing. Like no. Like if you didn't like the situation, you did not ask for this. You did not consult you into about this. You did not agree upon having an open relationship. You're talking about highs and lows, and obviously he's still upset about this, and that you wavering about, oh, let me try to handle it. No, that's not gonna. That doesn't help you at all. That is gonna hurt you in the long run, and then you're gonna think back and be like, why the fuck did I waste my time with this? Right? It doesn't make any sense. And even looking at her, like her whole body language was just very off-put. Like, oh, he's not leaving. Why would he leave? Because she's comfortable. She goes back to him because she is comfortable. I again, if you see the old video, there's a whole explanation about it a little bit about why she the whole cheating scandal, the whole cheating thing that she did and everything, on the whole situation. But she's so off-put because she's like, oh, he's not gonna leave me because she's comfortable. And once somebody finds you, once she feels comfortable in that, some people might say, oh, once she feels comfortable with that, some people might say it's a lack of respect, right? the fear of you leaving is not there, obvious, and that's clear as day. Like the fear of you leaving is not there, and she, you know, hey, saying that like she knows that you're not going to leave. Like, what else can she do now? Like she did the ultimate form of disrespect, and you're still sitting down there. So I don't know what to say. I don't know. I know. We'll play a little bit more. I don't want this video to get too long. So.
Next question I like very much. It's from Mila the Ace, and she's asking, hey Oliver, do you still believe in monogamous relationships and marriage in general?
Yeah, let's take quickly marriage. So I'm not a believer in marriage. Yeah, I don't think it's a good and healthy concept today. Like I personally, I don't need a piece of paper or any label to define our relationship. So that in regards to marriage. And the other part of the question was,
do you still believe in monogamous relationships?
Because there's so many angles to monogamy. Like what I have learned is that there are many people that I know as well, that are in a monogamous relationship, but under the hood there's a lot of fantasies, a lot of thoughts, a lot of suppressed desires. Do I think that's healthy? I don't think so over the long run, because at the end of the day, you only have one life, and you better make the most of it. So how I see it personally today is that it's probably a mix of, there will be phases where you go more inwards, where you maybe not interested at all in other people, not even your partner. Then there will be times where you're very focused on your partner. Then there will be times where maybe somebody else will share the space. So I think there's not anymore for me this one thing. It's constantly evolving, constantly changing. Which is why the term of free relationship is still very beautiful. So it's constantly reshaping. It's constantly asking yourself, is this where I want to be? Not in a sense that you want to run away every day, but what is it I desire?
Yeah, and I think just the idea of coining a relationship, a free relationship, gives you the space to actually express yourself fully. While like, I mean, when we got into a relationship, for me, nobody told me that there's different concepts other than that. That's how I grew up into. That's what I saw my parents doing, right? I think it's also just about the idea that we allow ourselves to think there is more ways of relating. There is not just, yes, you can find one person that you really very much enjoy and you can spend a lifetime with them, but that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have attractions to other people. And this might sound like the most simple concept, but honestly, for me, I had to learn that this is okay and it's not wrong.
Also, what I think is important is that relationship is not all about sex. It's not like you're having sex 24 hours. Especially if you run a business together, you've been together for there's so many more elements. You have a kid, you have another kid coming. So a relationship becomes much more than this single
I love that
thing.
You say that, exactly. It's really like a partnership where really that's also how I see our relationship now, more and more after all these challenges that I really see in this world, especially where we live right now. It's so important that you have community, right? That you have support, you're not being alone, and you're really having company where you know they're always going to go with you through thick and thin. And that's actually what gives you mental stability as well. And that also means a relationship might not look like it looks like in Disney movies or something, but it is a real stable, strong partnership where you know this person is never gonna let you down or so. And that is something that I appreciate more and more about our relationship actually also. And that's how I feel about our relationship more and more.
So what he said basically is all about fit, right? So he mentions about people being in monogamous relationships and how they are suppressing certain feelings or certain desires that they want in terms of like attractions for other people, and they feel like it's not healthy in the long run. Well, what I say to that is it's part of the sacrifice, right? If you feel like you and this person are good with each other, like, you know, that's someone you want to be part of your life, and you agree to it, you know, it's part of the sacrifice. That sure, there might be certain instances where that desire kicks in for other people, but you're not you know necessarily supposed to be acting on it per se, right? I think who's somebody that Michael J. White, right? Michael J. White said something very interesting about him and his marriage, right? He said that when he was with his wife, who was his girlfriend at the time, no other woman popped up into his head because he felt like he found the perfect one. No other chick popped up to his head at all, and they're still married to this day. So, again, that was a good fit for him, for Michael J. White. So maybe you got to question yourself if you are, finding desires of other people or other people besides your partner. Is there maybe something an underlying issue that's causing between you and your partner that you have to discuss that you have not? That is there an underlying issue that you and your partner have not discussed that now you're looking for other places or greener pastures per se, right? So that's something you're gonna have to, something to think about. But again, he's talking about fit. And basically, if you feel that, staying with one partner is not, something that's great, that's up to you. But also know that having multiple partners is also there's also some bad consequences for it as well. Like, you can get locked into a lot of stuff in the long run as well. So it's not just monogamy have its own, shortcomings for some people. Polygamy also has its own shortcomings as well. So there's no perfect thing here, right? There's no perfect thing. He mentioned about him not finding marriage valuable, finding marriage reason or something serious to go along with, something to really take serious. And hey, they've been dating for 17 years. That was obvious. So that's not really nothing to really talk about here. And then Adriana was she mentioned about being having a partnership in a community, right? So I laugh at that because another couple that was recently on TV kind of also said that they were in a partnership as well, and look how that turned out, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, hey, some people kind of thrive off the chaos. Personally, I think it's very chaotic in terms of just, for him being forced into a situation that he didn't plan to initially, calling it some sort of quote-unquote conditioning that he had to break out of in order to accept who she was. And hey, if people thrive off of chaos, and if he's happy with what she has, that's cool, regardless of who the baby comes out, whether it's his or not. Cool, you're there, you're going to support her, obviously. So last thing, anything we have to say is I wish him the best and wish them the best, not even just him, like both of them. Wish them both the best, and hopefully they have a great, happy community, per se, right? That's the end of the video. Be sure to like, comment, and share the video. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Also, hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I drop a new video. A little late today, I had a busy week or whatnot. And also, let's bring that subscriber count up to 100, man. So once we get to 100, we got a special thing going on once we hit 100 subscribers. And let me just say thank you guys so much for subscribing. Get it up to 96, and I'll see you guys later when we get to 100. All right, take care.
The world need direction, and your girl needs attention. Her tongue curled and that booty flexing. Think I seen her on my snap with a cap that said, put some sense in if you wanna view me sexing. This ain't censored, I'm telling the youth. What you think lies outside of